It's a beautiful morning in Ipalauwa, Tanzania. The primary school is quiet, waiting for its 600 students and 8 teachers to begin their day. The volunteers slowly rise and make their way to the conference room for breakfast and the morning meeting. Some volunteers are working at the clinic this morning, and some are going on home visits, but the other teachers and I are off to school. The students started school at 7 a.m. this morning. They are already out on the field having their first break. We arrive at the school with our team leader. Her name is Given. She is our interpreter, our teaching assistant, our administrator, our volunteer coordinator, and an all-around beautiful soul. Our first lesson of the day is, I am here, you are there. After our explanation, we invite students up to the front. Using the bunny puppet, they act out scenarios of, I am here, you are there. After many students and many scenarios, we move on to our next lesson. He likes, she likes, they like. One of my examples is, she likes to play patty cakes. The bell rings in the schoolyard. Now it's time for 10 o'clock porridge break. Now sing with me. It goes, don't worry. Be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Time to get back to work. For our writing lesson this morning, they will write, he likes, she likes, they like. As they work, we move around the room and check them. With no electricity in the school and no lighting of any kind, it gets difficult to see on dark and cloudy days. Thankfully, their young eyes adjust much better than ours. The highlight for the students is when we write "very good" in red pen on their page. They like it so much they attempt to have us write it several times in the same paper. Very often a student I have graded will fold over the part that I've already written on and hand it to me again to grade a second time. Since there are 64 students in our class, it doesn't leave much time for multiple grading, but they do crave that attention. At the end of class, they treat us to a vocal concert, singing one of their beloved anthems about Tanzania. After they finish their singing, they ask me to sing the Don't Worry Be Happy song again, which ends in a wild dancing party. Music is the greatest release for all of us. Now back to the center for a delicious lunch prepared by our wonderful chef, Mama Tony. Fresh avocados, salad, lentils, and the meat of the day, all prepared with loving, caring hands. After lunch, we head out for our home visits. The RCP, Reaching Children's Potential program, focuses on the first 1,000 days of a child's life, from conception to about 2 years old. The mothers that sign up for the program receive weekly visits from caregivers and volunteers. On these visits, we help the mothers and the families to learn healthy and safe practices for raising and taking care of their children. Today, we're going to Ukwega. Here we pick up 3 of our wonderful caregivers, Asma, Beatrice, and Fatina. Then back in the car for another ride, even further into the countryside. When we come to the end of the road, time to get out and walk. The scenery is breathtaking, but the path through the brush is narrow, steep, and winding. Our first visit with caregiver Fatina. We are seeing a mother who has a toddler. She's concerned about her ability to stand and walk. We watch as the toddler stands using a homemade walker. Fatina explains that the child is normal for her age, and mother should not worry. Next door, a little boy is pulling his 2 younger siblings. Hey. The joy is infectious. Farther down the path, we are with caregiver Asma. We're talking to a pregnant mother about the importance of exercise, staying active, and eating healthy to prepare for the baby. She asks about nutrition, and the volunteers and the caregiver share ideas on the subject. Some mothers are more vocal than others. This mom knows some English and welcomes questions. She says, "The more you ask, the more I learn." Our last visit is with caregiver Asha. She talks about the importance of boiling the water before using it for cooking or drinking, and why washing hands is so important. At the hand washing station, she gives mom and the children a lesson. Inside, we see that they're cooking. The smoke in the room makes it difficult to breathe. We talk about the importance of ventilation and why the smoke is not healthy for babies or families. We discuss other possibilities for preparing meals. We tell how some houses have separate places for cooking, and some have different types of ventilation. The family listens, but sometimes there's just nothing they can do to change the situation. Back on the trail again, we see an amazing balancing act. Things that seem impossible to us, people here just do as a common day occurrence. On our way back, we run into a bunch of laughing, playing children. That reminds us that happiness is the natural state of being. On the ride home, we talk about our home visits, all the funny moments and the heart-wrenching ones. Back at the center, the women from the surrounding area have brought some crafts to sell. Beautiful bags, baskets, scarves, stuffed animals, and many other items. The volunteers are on a shopping spree. I must admit, I am a compulsive buyer, especially when it's for a good cause. As the sun begins to go down, I take my cow puppet, Louie, outside to have some fun with the children.
Jumbo! 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 Oh, oh, oh. Scratch my ear! Scratch my ear!
In the background, the never-ending football game continues. The world seems to be winding down. Time to rest and prepare for another day in Ipanema.